Hello everyone and welcome to another Creative Edge video blog with me, your host Andrew. And this week I'm going to give you a bit of a technique, go through a tutorial for you. This technique, I learnt it from some of the work that some kind of matte painters do. Matte painters being the guys that create the kind of the paintings which go into the backdrops of film, when that backdrop clearly doesn't exist. It's painted in, often with Photoshop imagery, sometimes with 3D. And I learnt this technique from some watching matte painters do their thing. And it's really, really simple, and it's a way of adding kind of lights and a bit of realism to buildings, typically sci-fi buildings, that kind of thing. And if I jump over to Photoshop, you can see in this image here, it's used pretty much throughout this area, but I mean you can see it very specifically kind of up here. On these buildings, these lights that have been added in, and it's really quick and easy, little really even quick and dirty technique, and it's a great little technique. And I've also used it on this one here, a little bit on these buildings in the background and the OCP building back here. So here's my canvas, and I'm going to show you how it's done. It's really easy. Okay. Right, so first off, now you can do this on either existing kind of stock imagery of buildings like this, or you can create your own buildings like I did up here. So I'm going to start off by creating my own building. So I've got a canvas, I've just put a grey with a bit of a gradient at the bottom there, and I'm going to create a new layer. And then with the polygonal lasso, I'm going to go from here up to here, across, and down, just to create a vague building shape. I'm going to fill that with 50% grey, and then I'm going to just hue saturation, just darken it up because I want that a bit darker than that. So take it to there, and then I'm going to take the lasso tool again, and I'm going to go and create make one edge slightly darker. Just darken that down a touch. There we have a 3D building. Right, so how do you do it? It's really easy. You just need some stock imagery of the nighttime buildings. So here we have one, and I'm just going to take my polygonal lasso and go over that there, copy that, come to my canvas and paste. Then I'm going to free transform it, which is Control or Command T, and hold down Control to be able to warp it. There we go. That's in place, covering that side of the building. Now, I just need to do a layers adjustment. A levels. Now I just need to do a levels adjustment. Bring up the blacks so you can just see the windows. Move a bit in there, and then set it to screen. And there we go. And that's essentially it. Now I've just added a clipping mask on there so it doesn't go over the edge of the building. But that is essentially it. That is it, but there's more you can do to it. And I mean, for instance, I can duplicate the layer, and I could move it down a little bit, and there it creates a slightly more detailed version. I can select those 2 layers and duplicate them, transform them, bring them over to this side. And just warp it to fit. Done. There you go. You have 2 sides of the building. It's taken on the shades that I put down in the building that I created, and you know, there you go. You've got a building with lights on it. So you can do it on kind of buildings you create, but you can also do it on existing buildings. Now, for instance, this is the OC. This is the building that I used for the OCP tower here. So let's copy that, paste, transform it, make it a bit bigger, pop it in there, do a quick select, go around the building, delete the sky. I'm doing this now. Obviously, I'm doing this very quick and dirty, just getting off those edges there. If you were doing this on a proper composite, you would take your time and you would do this in a much more controlled and better way. But just for the purposes of this, it's going to be quick and dirty, and so just quick levels adjustment just to darken it down. Let's even just take a little bit of the colour out. Got a bit of fringing going on the edge there, but let's not worry about that at this point. So what we can do is I'll come across to this one here. Now, you just take your polygonal lasso and select an area, which I have done with that. Copy, paste, and then let's just free transform it into position. Let's do that, and then quick levels adjustment, send a lot of it to black, pop it onto the screen blending mode, and there we go. Actually, I'm going to do a quick free transform and just bring those sides out a little bit. Add a, for a start, let's add a clipping mask and then an actual layer mask. Take it off that side of the building. So making a start, and then all you do, duplicate it, move it up. There we go, and just adjust painting the mask where we don't want it. There we go. I can even then maybe duplicate that if I wanted it even more complex. Drag it down. Now that might be even a bit too much, but what you can do is paint on these layer masks and get rid of parts. Brush stroke. Again, I'm being really quick, just, you know, not taking my time over this, just doing a quick and dirty job, but getting the point across that it's a really quick and easy thing to do on your buildings, and it can just add a bit of realism to your sci-fi buildings, or just a nighttime scene. You know, if you wanted to add a bit of kind of light and glow to the buildings in the background. And obviously I can then take those 4, duplicate them, transform them, and bring it onto this edge of the building. And that is literally it. Now, okay, it doesn't look terribly impressive there, but I mean that is how I did these buildings here. So I mean these ones, they were painted, the grey kind of area in the background here, this was painted, and then the lights were added in through the technique that I just showed you, and that's how I did it. It's how I did the lights down here, all this kind of thing. So there you go. really quick, really easy, really, down and dirty technique, really. And it's one I've seen plenty of matte painters use if they're creating a sci-fi scene and they want to add just that little bit of life and kind of the realism that you get from kind of photos of real buildings, and it just brings that kind of that matte painting artwork to life, and it's easily kind of transferred into kind of composite imagery and that kind of thing as well. So that's it for this week. Of course, as always, please subscribe and share it with any friends, that kind of thing. Really appreciate that. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that was interesting. Please feel free to ask questions. Not sure about anything, post a comment below, and I'll do my best to answer it. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.